Have you ever felt like you were the only one trying to do the right thing when everyone else was going in the wrong direction? Today, we're diving into a story about a man who did just that, and it led to one of the most incredible rescue missions in history. This is the story of Noah's Ark. Long after Adam and Eve, the world was filled with people, but things had gone terribly wrong. The earth was full of violence, selfishness, and people who had completely turned their backs on God. His name was Noah, and he chose to walk with God. He was described as a righteous man, blameless in his generation. The wickedness had grown so great that God had decided to start over, to wash the earth clean with a massive flood. But God saw Noah's faithfulness, and he offered a way of escape. This wasn't just about saving one man. It was about preserving life itself. God gave Noah a very specific and very strange set of instructions. Build an ark, not just any boat, but a colossal vessel made of gopher wood, sealed with pitch inside and out. Its dimensions were staggering: 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. In modern terms, that's roughly 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. It was a 3-story floating fortress, designed not to sail, but simply to survive. Noah was tasked with building this enormous structure on dry land, far from any major body of water. Can you imagine the reaction from his neighbors? They must have thought he was crazy. Day after day, year after year, Noah and his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth toiled away. The sound of hammers and saws must have been a constant backdrop to the mockery and ridicule they faced. People likely asked, "Noah, what are you doing? Have you seen any clouds? There's no ocean here." But Noah didn't waver. He didn't argue or question God. He simply trusted and obeyed. His faith was demonstrated through his actions, plank by plank, for decades. As the final pieces of the ark were put into place, something truly miraculous began to happen. Just as God had commanded, animals started to arrive, not in a stampede, but in an orderly procession, guided by a divine hand. 2 of every kind of unclean animal, and 7 pairs of every clean animal, and of the birds. Lions walked alongside lambs, elephants alongside eagles. From the largest land mammals to the smallest creeping things, they all came. Imagine the sheer spectacle of it, a living parade of God's creation, all heading for the safety of the ark. Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives welcomed them all aboard. Once every person and every animal was safely inside, the Bible tells us something profound. God himself shut the door. The time for decision was over. The period of grace had closed. Then, the world outside began to change. The sky, once clear, grew dark and ominous. A gentle rain began to fall, but it quickly intensified into a torrential downpour unlike anything ever seen. But that wasn't all. The fountains of the great deep burst forth. Water erupted from beneath the earth's surface. It was a cataclysm from above and below. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain was relentless. The water level rose steadily, swallowing up hills, then mountains. The entire landscape disappeared beneath a swirling, global ocean. Everything and everyone outside the ark was washed away. The world was being cleansed. But inside, suspended on the very waters of judgment, Noah and his family were safe. The ark, which looked so foolish on dry land, was now their salvation. After 40 days, the rain stopped, but the world remained a vast, silent ocean. For months, the ark drifted. Can you imagine the feeling inside? The rocking of the waves, the sounds of the animals, and the endless expanse of water visible from the single window at the top. It must have required incredible patience and continued faith. Noah couldn't just open the door and check. He had to wait on God's timing. After a long time, Noah decided to test the waters. He opened the window and sent out a raven. The raven flew back and forth over the water, finding no place to land. It was a sign that the water was still everywhere. Later, he sent out a dove. The dove flew out, but soon returned, having found no perch for its feet. Noah took it back into the ark. He waited another 7 days and sent the dove out again. This time, it returned in the evening, and in its beak was a freshly plucked olive leaf. Hope! This small green leaf was a powerful symbol. It meant the floodwaters were receding, and new life was beginning to sprout on the earth. Noah waited 7 more days and sent the dove out one last time. This time, it did not return. The earth was dry enough to support life again. Finally, after more than a year inside the ark, God spoke to Noah again. Come out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons and their wives. Bring out every kind of living creature that is with you. The great door was opened, and Noah, his family, and all the animals stepped out onto a clean, fresh, new world. The air was pure, the ground was dry. It was a new beginning for humanity and for the entire planet. What was the very first thing Noah did? He didn't rush to build a house or plant a field. The first thing he did was build an altar and give thanks to God. He worshipped God for his protection, his mercy, and his faithfulness. This act of gratitude pleased God so much that he made a covenant, a solemn promise, not just to Noah, but to all of creation. God promised that he would never again destroy all life with the waters of a flood. And as a sign of this everlasting promise, God set a rainbow in the clouds. He said, "When I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant." So now, every time we see a rainbow arching across the sky after a storm, it's not just a beautiful display of light. It's a personal reminder from God of his promise, his faithfulness, and his grace. The story of Noah isn't just an ancient tale about a big boat and a lot of animals. It's a powerful story about faith in the face of ridicule. It's about the consequences of turning away from God, but also about the incredible mercy he offers. Noah's obedience saved his family and preserved life on earth. It teaches us that even when the world seems dark and hopeless, one person choosing to walk with God can make an extraordinary difference. And it reminds us that no matter how big the storm we face in our own lives, God is faithful to his promises and always provides a way through. Thanks for watching. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that explore faith, hope, and the incredible messages found in ancient texts. See you next time.